Oi, oi!
Oi, oi! Oi, oi! I don't know what that was all about. Oi, oi! It's finally here.
I'm
finally
excited,
here, mate.
Yeah, the big one.
How long have we waited for this in the Premier League? I'll tell you how long, mate. 16 years we waited for this, mate.
Yeah. Crazy
Go on then,
times.
Mr. Waitman. Take it away. What are your feelings? Early feelings going into this.
I'm not bothered about the result. As long as Calvin gets sent off, that's all I'm bothered about.
He's still going for this. Mr. Wayman messaged me this afternoon, blaming me for a tweet he sent saying, "You should have stopped me, mate. You should have stopped me." I mean, I don't just put out the fires, you know. That's not my role here, just to put out your fires. I mean, mate, to be fair, if we're losing the game 4-0, then we might as well. It might as well. No, and if it's Pogba, Fernandes, whoever, Martial, pretty much anyone. Then why not? Why not? You know what I mean? But yeah, no, obviously, mate. Look, Calvin said going into this game, he's well up for this, isn't he? He's got everyone. Yeah. There's no doubt Calvin Phillips has gone around that dressing room since Newcastle, just saying, "Are you up for this? Are you up for this?" And just getting them up for it, you know, because only really Calvin's probably the only real player you look at. Maybe Coops, obviously. Coops as well. He'll get it, but you know, in terms of the new lads who come in, the young lads, you know, they shouldn't need to. You know, obviously, I think for us, you know, we understand what this game means. I think even you know, they're fans. To be fair, mate, they're fans. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen on Twitter, it's not crazy. A rivalry. It's just nonsense, isn't it?
It's all wet. That's what I'm saying. It's absolute BS. I think there's obviously with the younger generation, I understand it, but I think you add fans to the games, it adds a totally different kettle of fish. So maybe even someday, I still think on the pitch it's going to have that spice, and it'll probably be engineered by the Leeds United players, if I'm totally honest. I see the likes of Click will be well up for it. He's that kind of character. If Calvin's getting into them beforehand, know that Click's going to be doing some shithousery. Calvin gets the fixture. His family's, he's Leeds through and through. His family's all over the place. They'll be well up for this one, which then obviously resonates to Calvin. He's then getting the rest of the squad up. I see players like Cooper, Ayling that are a little bit further down the career will understand it as well. Yes, they might not have the same invested interest as maybe a Calvin or a Cooper, because Cooper's a Leeds fan, but I still think the older lot will get this tie. From a Man United perspective, I just don't think they'll have the same first for victory as what Leeds United do.
I think the first 20 minutes might shock them a little bit if we set the tempo, a few crunching tackles, few cheeky fouls, few naughty fouls, and I think it'll really get up. But I mean, there's some really good comments coming through, mate.
Before we do get into them, we've got about 100 people in. We want to do some more numbers, guys. The way we get some more numbers, smash the likes on the video.
Every like you smash is every goal Patrick Bamford will score past David De Gea and Harry Maguire tomorrow. So guys, smash the like button, guys.
Smash the like. Let's get some scum fans in the chat. Let's get some chat going, man. Let's educate them. Let's educate them. So smash the like on the video, man.
Mate, going into this game, I mean, I've seen a few mentions about it's a free swing, it's a free hit for us, but I think it's a bit more than that, you know. I think I look at this Man United team and think they're not that good. You know, it's not like Liverpool or City we're playing here. You know, this is the game where I look at and think, obviously Rashford's in the form of his life at the minute. There's no doubt about that. Fernandes is, one of the best 10s in the league. Yeah. You know, there is that element to it. But look at the back four, mate. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw. There's no doubt we've got to be looking to cause that back four problems at the very least tomorrow afternoon. The very least, we've got to be causing that back four problem, surely.
Yeah, and I think we will, bro. I think we will, definitely, man. I understand of it. Oh, maybe that's where all the viewers are at, actually. Arsenal have just been beat again by Everton, so they might all be over there. They might all be over there. It's time to go.
I mean, but pressured that. But flipping Arsenal have to ruin everything, don't they?
Yeah, they're just always taking the limelight from us lesser channels, aren't they? They're out of order.
Just because we're in a relegation battle doesn't mean you have to take our limelight. No, that's fair. That's fair, to be fair. But if you guys are watching this later on, make sure you do smash the like button anyway. Look, I mean, this is an interesting one with Charlie Brown, Beckford and Bamford. I've seen a few of those little things, little similarities in that lot, but I honestly think Bamford, getting on Maguire's shoulder, I don't see any reason why he can't.
You could even see, like, instead of Howson playing the ball, it's Calvin playing the ball over the top. Yeah, Bamford would have that sort of, the same sort of run, I guess, to that finish as what Beckford would as well. Left foot. Yeah, I like that. I like that from, where's the name gone? I've lost it. But from Charlie Brown, from our man Charlie Brown.
Charlie Brown.
Bamford, yeah.
I mean, Alisson, Marty Adams, I think we've got to go here and looking, obviously we're going to play on the front foot. We all know we're going to play on the front foot. But I still look at this game and think it's going to be similar to Liverpool. But for me,
again,
they're nowhere near Liverpool's standards. They're nowhere near. Like Liverpool, you've just seen this today produce a performance that no one else in the league produces. If we go in and play the same way we did at Liverpool, same way we did against City, I think we get something from the game at the very least, to be honest. If we play at the same level, okay, I know the Chelsea game was more recent, but that's more of a one-off. I think we've been very, very good against the top team so far. And they might say they're in a title race, but for me, I still think their team, I was looking at their predicted lineup, which we'll go through later on. They've not even got a settled midfield, a settled defence, settled anything. I still look at them and think, I honestly think we can cause some problems tomorrow. I know you were a little bit more nervous about Rashford.
Yeah, of course. Listen, I obviously on the counter, of course. Like, I'd be blinkered if I wasn't saying that they don't cause any threat, because they do. Of course, you've mentioned Bruno Fernandes. They're a one-man team at time, which is quite laughable for the great Manchester United. They're a one-man team at the minute. But look, Martial scored the other night as well against Sheffield United. Rashford, Greenwood, they have pace, and we do struggle against that. So I'm not going to say that for 1 second, it's going to be easy, because it's not. But they have obviously issues defensively. I don't know if is Cavani allowed to play after he's.
I was thinking that if Cavani's playing,
I'm not sure, because I know he's been charged with the use of the word that he used on social media. So I'm not sure if
then.
The fact he's being charged, I can't see them putting him in as well, because there's a ban coming. I'm not sure. Like Boogie says here, and this is where the issue lies. Yes, going forward, but defensively, it's not great.
Wan-Bissaka last season was the only decent one out of that four, and even him this season for me has been pretty poor. I do fancy Harry, the way he dives in. I was watching a bit of Man United's games and that lot, and just to get a general feel, because I don't watch him, to be honest, mate. The only time I'm watching this season is
when they're getting
Spurs.
beat.
When they played that Spurs game, and I heard it was 3-1, I just flicked it on, and that was an enjoyable afternoon, to be fair. That was a really enjoyable afternoon. The only way it could have been perfected if Roy Keane was in the Sky Sports studio, but we can't have everything, mate. We can't have everything. Mate, I would love nothing more than Roy Keane to be in that Sky studio tomorrow getting questions about Leeds running riot at Old Trafford. Just inject it, mate. Just inject it.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it? It would be nice.
But no, mate. Look, defensively, Shaw has struggled at left back. Their fans are not happy with him at all. Lindelof, Maguire. I mean, I think any striker outruns them. To be honest, De Gea's not been particularly great. Henderson played on Thursday night. Henderson made two complete mistakes on Thursday night. They are so unsettled at the back, even in front of the back four. We're talking about McTominay, Fred, Pogba. I know obviously Pogba on this day, top player, but defensively, if he's playing in front of that back four, I really think that leaves space for Click and Rodrigo
to cause
damage.
Would you rather see Pogba start or on the bench?
Oh, it's a hard one, because if it's a sort of a.
Because if he plays and he plays well, he can create that moment of magic, can't he?
On the ball, I think he's better than any of Man United's midfielders, to be honest. I think even Fernandes, Pogba on this day, for me, is capable of more than Fernandes. I'll go that far. But again, he's so inconsistent. He goes for the Hollywood pass every time. We can cut that out. He leaves so much space behind him as well. And I think defensively, it definitely helps us going forward if Pogba plays, if I'm being honest. But the reason I wouldn't quite go as far as I'd rather see Pogba play than not play is exactly that. If he's on it, he causes us big problems tomorrow, But, oh, mate, those delayed reactions.
Like,
Oh, the
what
eyes,
a
mate,
goal!
the eyes.
What a goal!
That's Jack Harrison's goal.
You know,
But
I've seen a few people as well, just to quickly jump in there. I've seen a few people mention about Jack Harrison being fired up because he's former City. I believe he was a Manchester United fan. I don't see him.
No, don't say it. I think you're right, but
Yeah, no, I think he was. And when people are saying about him being City, he was only brought over, obviously, from MLS, hasn't played that. I don't think he'll. I don't know. I might be wrong, but I think he was a Man United fan as a young one. I think. I might be wrong,
if he
though.
has a bad game tomorrow, then he needs to be binned off, if you ask me.
Yeah.
That's clear bias. And
just on that as well, David, as long as KP gets sent off, that's all I'm bothered about. I'm not bothered about the result. I just want KP
your
to get...
Twitter mentions. You'll have to put your Twitter account to private. If not,
maybe I'll get a verified tick. I might get a verified tick.
You get that much hammer. If KP gets sent off, first minute just goes first minute kickoff just decides, right, I'm going through him now. But no, mate, look, obviously that's the key thing for us tomorrow is if the game is level, you know what I mean, we've got to keep our heads, you know what I mean? We have got to keep our heads. And I know what you mean towards the end of the game, if we're getting beat, maybe just leave one on, maybe leave a high foot, you know what I mean? Bit of that, bit of everything. Something that might not quite, something sly that won't get picked up on VAR. You know, even like a bit of a, you know, like the Ramos thing on Sally. You know, just lock your arm and just go like that. You know, a bit of that. Just I want it to be sly rather than something like just outright. Just something really sly.
Just move it on, though. Move it on, because the Twitterati they'll be after me. They'll be after me.
Yeah. I'm only talking about this because Joe's Twitter's just going to go mad tomorrow. He's got like 12,000 followers by tomorrow night. But yeah, no, obviously, look, the other thing as well is the referee of this game, and Mr. Anthony Taylor.
Yeah, he's a Manc, right?
He is of Manchester, yeah. Again, look, he's not a bad referee, but that is a strange appointment. That you certainly wouldn't see a Leeds-based referee taking charge of this game at Ellen Road, would you, mate?
No, definitely not. Definitely not. It was almost as bad as when we played Newcastle the other night, and they went to Clattenburg, who's a Geordie. He came on like, well, yeah, it was a penalty, like, you know what I mean? Like,
it was, to be fair.
No, I know. Don't let the truth come in.
Coops goes in like that tomorrow, because this team is the most reliant team on VAR in the history of VAR. I mean, honestly, the amount of penalties they get, got to stay on their feet.
They scored a goal after the final whistle, remember?
Yeah, mate. You could never relax against them. That's the trouble. They always find a way to do something. So we've got to just got to keep our heads, really. You know, I think obviously in terms of our team, it's not really that much of a talking point because surely it's just going to be the same team. Surely.
Yeah. I can't see any changes. I think if there were going to be changes, it would have happened prior to the Newcastle game, just due to a number of performances. Obviously, people getting hooked off at half-time and stuff. So the fact he didn't make changes in that game, he's then not going to make changes after a 5-2 very good performance against Newcastle. That would be brilliant as well. Charlie Brown is full of the fire tonight.
Kind of game though, with 20 minutes to go, you know, as the game gets stretched, because they've got to win tomorrow, Man United. There's no doubt in my mind. You know, if it's level as 20 minutes to go, they will throw on all the big guns and that. Like, they'll probably put 3 strikers on. You know, they'll go for it. And I think for me,
who's been telling F Boogie lies? We are brilliant at set pieces. I don't know where you've heard that from, F Boogie.
Superb, mate. Superb. Maguire's just going to get shoved around everywhere. But to be fair, mate, they're not great themselves. You know, the game's back. Maguire, for his height, actually loses a lot of aerial battles, you know. For his height, he loses a lot of aerials. So that's going to be an interesting battle in terms of, not that we try and launch the ball up into Patrick Bamford, but whoever sits on Maguire, because obviously Maguire's the biggest threat on the set pieces, really, in terms of scoring from them. But considering they got, obviously, Rashford and Fernandez's delivery, they don't actually, thus far, score that many from set pieces. But I think we all know tomorrow they will probably get a few chances from them. And we've got to make sure, you know, everyone does their jobs, really. That's the absolute simple thing, isn't it? You know, do our jobs. And, you know, the one we conceded against Newcastle was probably the worst of the lot, to be honest.
Yeah,
it was a completely free header, and it was a poor goal to give away that. But to be fair, mate, what I would say is that I know the goal obviously massively distorts things, but I didn't think we defended that much worse on the set pieces against Newcastle. I thought it was a bit better than West Ham. Yeah, I think that was probably the only real chance I can think of Newcastle had from a set piece. I mean, would you go that far, or would you still say it's a massive worry?
No, it is a worry, but Logan makes a good point. I think both goals that we scored came from counter-attacks from a set piece.
That's a very good point.
We forget about that, don't we? But obviously it's due to the fact that a lot of the goals that Leeds United are conceding are coming from set pieces. It was against Chelsea, obviously 2 against West Ham, 1 against Newcastle. So, yeah, look, we haven't been great at them. It's not been exposed as much in the Championship, but I think there's a lot to be said about the quality of delivery from some of the players. Like, look at that Chelsea game. Mason Mount's delivery from set pieces was class. Creswell's doing crazy numbers for set piece deliveries as well. So, there is a lot in that as well. But I think the Newcastle one was poor, like really, really poor. And yeah, it's some look. That look like Angit Chowdhury tells us Maguire's got best aerial stats. If you target Lindelof aerially, you may get something. So I think we are aware. I don't know if that's right or wrong. Angit may be a Man United fan and might be correcting us, Oscar. But I am worried about him from set pieces. But that's the only part of the game that of Maguire that I am worried about. And I think Bamford hopefully and should give him a bit of a torrid time tomorrow.
Well, they try and play out the back, mate. That was one thing I did notice. Against Sheffield United, they made some awful mistakes. And that was under, no pressure. Sheffield United completely sat off them, allowed them to have the ball out the back and that lot. And they just waited for Man United just to make a mistake. Fred, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Shaw, De Gea, Henderson on the day. And they all make mistakes, They all make big mistakes. And that's the thing. Against the press, Bamford, Rodrigo, Click, Harrison, Rafinha, I want them all pressing as a unit and just sitting on that back four because that's where the mistakes will be. Of course, if we all push up, that leaves Rashford with a bit more space. But for me, that's our best way of creating chances against them, just forcing them into mistakes. Because for me, I look at their midfield. I always look at these kind of teams, these supposed top teams in their midfield. Chelsea, it was Kante, Mount, Havertz. To be fair, they all, other than Havertz, the other two played really well on the day. Liverpool, it was something a bit different. But I look at that Man United midfield, and other than Fernandes, I don't really look at anyone as being an all-round threat to an extent. Obviously Pogba going forward is, but he's also weak defensively. So I think it's only Fernandes that really I look at and think, yeah, he could be world-class. But I still think, put it this way, as I was saying to my dad before, would you take Fred or Scott McTominay in the Leeds team right now?
No, you wouldn't, would you, man? You wouldn't.
Would you take Luke Shaw in the Leeds team right now? Maguire?
No, I wouldn't, of course. But again, I just keep caveat. It's going forward that scares me, and I think that's the issue.
Them. Rafinha against Luke Shaw has got the potential to be a bit like Paveda against Mendy. In the Leeds City game. I can see. So I can see Shaw coming off. To be honest, I can genuinely see that at the minute. Tellez on the bench.
Will he not go with Tellez? Well, do you think that?
Through it, I thought they'd go. I've got a super chat there, but I'm not sure we can read it. To be fair, it's.
I'll have a look. I don't know where is it gone.
I don't want to flash it up. I don't want to flash it up.
Let's do it. Eli's been with us for a while, man. He keeps coming. He has. Can't wait to watch United smash Leeds 4-1. We shall see.
We shall see.
Thank you for
the
dollar, though.
No, cheers. No, genuine cheers for that. Look, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I think obviously Tellez is probably not going to start the game. Matt Hayes says there. Look, I still think Tottenham and Liverpool are far, far stronger teams than Man United. I'm far more fearful of going to Tottenham than I am of Man United. I know Fernandes and Rashford are good, but I still wouldn't put them in the Kane and Son bracket, the Mane and Salah bracket. I still don't see them in that bracket, to be honest.
No, I mean, well, it's difficult, isn't it? Because Kane and Son are just absolutely unbelievable. Let's be honest. But I guess I'm a little bit more worried than you, Oscar. To be fair, it's been apparent over the last few days.
This is
no,
rare.
that's what I mean. That's what I was going to make the point of. Is that it's been apparent that I am the more cautious of the two of us, which isn't normally the case. Definitely not normally the case. Yeah, I'm look. I did LFC day trippers last night, and every time I sit and think and try to give a valid point, I just get horrible thoughts of the ball going over the top and Rashford, Martial, and Greenwood are 3-on-2 up against Cooper and Ayling, and it's it does worry me. But we will also create chances, and I think what it comes down to tomorrow, the main thing for me, I think there is going to be goals from both sides. But it's just about us being clinical because, let's be honest, we create hatfuls. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, although he wasn't attributed with the goal tonight, but I just always compare his and Bamford's stats in that they've made the similar sort of shots on goal, but Calvert-Lewin has almost double the goals, or if not double, or maybe just a little bit less. Obviously, Bamford's on 9 now, but, we're not the most clinical side, let's be honest. We can be, but even if you look at the Newcastle where we've scored 5, we could have had more. We should have put 4 or 5 past Arsenal. We should have had a couple more against Everton. So we need to make sure tomorrow that we are clinical, because the one thing that I look at, especially with Martial scoring midweek and Rashford looking in scintillating form, they will have that clinicality, if that even is a word, but I'm going to use it because it sounded good. That clinicality about them tomorrow.
I think we'll run with it. It's
definitely not a word, but it sounds good, man. So I'm having it.
We know what you mean. Yeah. But look, it's Paddy Bamford, a big chance for him to get onto double figures tomorrow for me. He's going to have chances in this game. He's going to. Yeah, absolutely, guys. Absolutely. Yeah, top class support, guys. The way we've grown since the Newcastle game's been crazy, hasn't it, mate?
Yeah, it has, man. Yeah.
Can't thank you guys enough for the support on that one. Hopefully, you will be joining us again tomorrow when we do plenty of match day content tomorrow as well, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be a good day, isn't it?
Well, hopefully it is, mate. It's either going to be great, it's either going to be the best day of the season, or it's going to be. Let's not go there.
Yeah. Jack and Tash will be with us tomorrow as well. So
with us as well.
No doubt you'll get a load of Jack's sexual sounding noises when we go on the break. They're absolutely brilliant. So yeah, Jack and Tash will be with us tomorrow, and I think Kieran as well.
Kieran's with us as well. So
he looks like my twin brother. He looks like my twin brother.
Joe Swins.
He looks more like my brother than my actual brothers, which is a bit strange.
Right, okay. Let's move on. But I mean, where do you think the game's going to be won or lost? Where do you is it just going to be a case of whoever's more clinical on the day? Because I just see it, mate, as both teams are going to have probably 10 chances each. To be fair, I can just see it being that kind of game. I don't think we're going to be able to shut them out because we leave so much space in behind. They're a counter-attacking team. But at the same time, I don't think they can stop us when the game settles. When we've got settled spells of possession, I can see us cutting them open, to be honest. We've done it against poorer defensive unit, better defensive units than Man United. I don't see why we can't do this tomorrow, to be honest, mate.
We will create. I definitely 100%. We've shown that against the better sides in the division. I know Man United if they win the game in hand, they're not that far off the top, but I think there are better sides in the division that we've already played. I think the only top team we're still yet to play is probably Tottenham. We've played the rest, and we've created we've created chances in every game. If you look at the numbers for most chances created in a half or most chances created in 90 minutes, if there's a block of about 5, Leeds have got about 3 or 4 games in there,
I mean, went on it again for the game against Newcastle. That was another game. I think it was 25 we had against Newcastle. But I'll give you the exact stats now, mate. I mean, in terms of possession, I think we are still, in fact, I'll give you the quote now. I think we are still second in the whole league for possession. I think it's third for most shots. In fact, to be fair, we're actually above Man United. We keep the ball on average 4% more than Man United do. We have a lot more shots than Man United as well. You know, it does feel like might even have large spells of dominance in the game.
Yeah, I think we will. 100%. I do.
To be fair, mate, Leicester and Palace, I thought we had large spells of dominance in both of those games, but they were so clinical, weren't they? And that's the issue. That's the only thing that worries me.
What we need to do is obviously when Manchester United are set up in that shape, if they go with like Fred and McTominay, Matic, whoever they decide to go to, Man United fans, let us know in the chat. I think Oscar will go through their predicted lineup in a second anyway. But we just have to move them around. Listen, I don't see these things at the time, you know, but having other guests on that we get on Monday Night Football, it helps me see the games differently. And I remember Darren Driver mentioning about the fact against West Ham, we struggled to move them around. And then if you compare that with the Newcastle game, it's a totally different thing. So I think a lot of it, I do think we'll see a lot of the ball. Hopefully we'll see Calvin, like we touched on the other night, Oscar playing higher up the pitch and him recycling the ball from higher up the pitch and just move that back four around, which, again, they're not the most cohesive. They're not the most organised defence at Manchester United. You know, you had your £80 million centre-back only a couple of weeks ago after being knocked out of the Champions League, turning around saying, we need to learn the basics of football. Hang on a minute. You're 80 million. You're at Manchester United. How do you not know the basics of football? So yeah, they're not the most cohesive unit defensively. I think you could easily mirror both sides in that going forward, we've fine defensively. It's what's labelled at Leeds United, you know, defensively, too many chances. And it's the same across the Pennines. You know, going forward, everyone says going forward, they've got some right talent. You know, they can create but at the back, they're shocking. You know, and I suppose you could label the same at both clubs.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, even that Newcastle game, mate. Newcastle, we thoroughly deserved the win, and I thought it was a kind of a 5-2 game, to be honest. But Newcastle still had Medley started to make a top save at 2-2, and Newcastle still had 4 or 5 chances in the game. I know they scored 2 of them, but still another 3 good chances that they actually missed. So that's a worry for me. Obviously, defensively, I do feel that's an issue for us. I think the key battle is, though, I've seen a couple of people refer to it. I mean, but what would it prove? Even if we lost that game tomorrow, it proves nothing. No. It absolutely proves nothing. The expectation is on them to win. If they do not win this game, Bielsa has won the tactical battle. It's as simple as that. You know, if it's a draw, if it's a Leeds win, Bielsa's won the tactical battle. But I look at it, Bruno versus KP feels like the key battle to me, mate. They're number 10 versus our holding midfielder. That's got to be the
it is, man.
To set the tone.
100%. And I've made this point, like, Calvin gets this fixture. He'll be well up for this tie. He relishes the opportunity coming up against top players like, you know, KDB, etc. that he mentioned before. These are the players that he wants to play against. So relish the opportunity, you know, coming up against Bruno Fernandes, who, let's be honest, he's a top player. He's scintillating at times. And Man United are a one-man team. Yeah, if you take Bruno Fernandes out of that team, I don't know where you'd be in the division. You'd probably be with Arsenal scrapping for a relegation dogfight. He's that important to them. So yes, Calvin has to have a standout performance, and I fully expect him to do that tomorrow. I fully expect him to be, you know, on it from minute one. He's going to pocket Bruno Fernandes on his way to a man of the match performance. Hopefully, like our man told us earlier, Charlie Brown, laying on the assist for Bam Ford, like Beckford. That would be the perfect scenario. And as long as he gets a red card after that as well.
Serve this red card, mate.
I know, I'm just being a doyle. I'm just being an idiot.
When Pascal Stewart comes in and he has a poor game, don't you start moaning, mate. Don't you start moaning when KP's on a 3-game ban and we've got to miss that Tottenham game as well. Don't you start moaning after that, mate, when we're losing like against Tottenham. Don't start moaning about it, mate. But no, what I'm saying, we're going to win this game. We're going to win the next 4, and then we're going to be in top 6 contention, mate. It's as simple as that. Mate, it is that open the league at the minute. You know, obviously, we're seeing Man United, their home form, dreadful. That home
That's
form.
My
I know there has been an addition to the Wayman family. We're going to get to
Billy Wayman is called.
Billy.
Billy Bremner, yeah. Our lass won't let me have. She won't let me have Marcelo or Bielsa. She said it's not a dog's name. Like, you know, you can't really. Yeah, well, Pablo as well. I know Liam Horsley's called his dog Pablo, but yeah, we went with Billy.
Rafinha, the dog. Rafinha.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Rodrigo
Moreno, like that. Come, Rodrigo Moreno.
When you're walking in the park and you're going, Rodrigo. That lot, it's just, you're going to get the looks, aren't you, to be fair?
Yeah, exactly,
I mean, I've wound some people up saying that top six thing already. Eli's already took a bite as
I tell you one thing though, Eli loves it, and we love it. We love getting opposition fans in. You know, that's what I mean. Smash a like, and I hope you subscribed, Eli. I hope you subscribe.
I do hope you subscribe, mate.
Yeah, but Bruno will embarrass Phillips. I'm telling you, right? Listen, if Man United win the game, Bruno, you know, he's not going to embarrass Phillips. That's not going to happen. All right, it is not going to happen.
No, it's not at all. But I mean, just looking at the Man United predicted lineup, I mean, there's a lot of. They don't even have like a fixed formation. To be fair, mate, they're saying here the predicted lineup is a 4-4-2 diamond. So I'm going to read it from obviously. So goalkeeper, the reckoning, David De Gea is going to come in for Dean Henderson, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, Lindelof, Maguire, Shaw being the back four, as we kind of already mentioned, and then a midfield diamond of Fred, Holding, McTominay, Pogba playing right and left, and then Fernandes in the 10 role with Rashford and Martial up top. I mean, it's an interesting one, but it definitely lacks width. That's what I've got to say about that kind of lineup. That definitely lacks a bit of width, and obviously we know how much our fullbacks like to push forward. Dallas and Alioski.
Will they not go with like Greenwood, Rashford?
Well, they
Bruno,
don't reckon
Martial.
They don't reckon here. They say. Hang on a second. It says Solskjaer spoke glowingly about Pogba in the because I think Pogba came on against Sheffield United and played well. Spoke glowingly about Pogba in his pre-match press conference, which may well see Mason Greenwood drop out. So It sounds like it's going to depend a lot on whether he prefers Pogba or Greenwood. I mean, obviously Greenwood for me, it's a bit of a worry because I know we know what Greenwood can kind of do. Fair play, mate. Greenwood's a top player, but to be fair, mate, I don't think it matters that much what lineup they go with. I think no matter what lineup they go with, it's always going to be a bit unbalanced. It's always going to be very attack-minded, heavy, and have no kind of defensive stability to it at all. So I'm not that fussed, to be honest, mate.
No, I'm not even.
You're getting so much hammer for this red card thing.
No, do you know what that though? That's my friend. I wasn't going to give him his airtime, but I'll give him it. I was going to text him like WhatsApp and say, "Listen, do one." But he's a Man United fan, you see, so he's there for the bites. I've got a few of them. This is what I'm saying. So know that when we win the game tomorrow, I'll be straight away over in them mentions as well. But he's a good friend of mine, Shep. So big shout out. I hope the family's well, Mama. Go on, continue, Oscar.
Yeah, that's what they're expecting anyway. 4-4-2 diamond. They don't think. Well, to be fair, they've actually got Cavani down as a groin injury, but Solskjaer says exact words should be available for the visit of Leeds. So obviously going to be on the bench, Cavani. It's unlikely he'll start this game, but still a threat coming off the bench. To be fair. But there's no
real. Changed that game. Who was it? Was it Southampton where he came off the bench?
Comes off the bench. Yeah, the two down.
Totally changed the game.
Goals and an assist, I think it was. Completely changed the game in half an hour. So look, they have this tendency. Even if you go one up against them, they are always in the game. To be fair, they're just like the old Man United. Under Ferguson. They always find a way to come back. But I still think we just got to be clinical, mate. It's as simple as that. We just got to be. I've got no doubt or problem with the fact that we'll create chances against them. Out wide, we're going to get crossed into the box. I think we can play through them because they've got no pace. Rodrigo, Click, I think should pick the ball up in good pockets of space. But at the same time, they can throw back at me and say they've got great talent going forward and we're not the best defensively. So I can't see, mate, anything other than a high scoring game here, to be fair. I can't see anything other than that.
No, I've said it. Yeah, I think it could be one of them. Like you score 3, we'll score 4. Either way, right? It could go either way. Of course, I want it to go Leeds United's way. That goes without saying. But I think whatever happens,
Charlie knows. Charlie knows.
Yeah, Charlie Brown knows. Charlie knows the score. We'll give them a game, man, and that's the thing. That's the most I can ask for. We will give that team across the Pennines a game. We'll be well in the game. We'll create chances. We'll score. I mean, you can click this up now, but I genuinely believe all this. And the point I'm trying to make is, right, we've got Bielsa. I know that anyone we come up against, oh, he's back. Lord Voldemort's back as well. We've not seen him for a while. Oh,
it is a blast from the past, that, to be fair. About 4 or 5 months, to be fair, since our
we haven't seen him for a while. But yeah, just to my point,
found Harry Potter.
Yeah, but just to my point, Oscar, is that I would rather us. We're lucky because we could have arguably come up into the Premier League with a different style, a different manager, and could be going to Man United having not really any hopes whatsoever and thinking, oh, it would be the dream of all dreams to try and nick something. But we're not going with that attitude. We're going with, we're going to give this team a game, and that's all I want. Yeah, we'll expose them. And I think the class thing is that Ollie's been trying to build the game up. I think the fact that Bielsa has even likened it to obviously the derby over in his home country, and he gets it, man. So I think the tie could hinge a lot on that, and I just don't think the Man United players will be up for that fight. And like you say, if Pogba's in there, if we're hassling and harrying, if Click, Rafinha, Rodrigo, they're all pressing, Calvin snapping into challenges, I'm not quite sure that they'll be quite up for that fight. And I do expect us to go in front as well. You know, we've seen a lot with Man United. They go behind and they come back late in games. Unfortunately, they couldn't do it in the Champions League. They're now in the Europa League. I mean, who wants to be in that? But, you know, less said about that, the better. But, you know, I think we will create, and I see us going in front. We just got to give them a, you know, I'm trying to keep the language down. You know what I mean?
I do want to see us going through them in the first 10 minutes, really setting the tone. Obviously, nothing too over the top, but I do want to see that bit of aggression in the first sort of 10 minutes. You know, Coop's going through Martial, a bit of this, a bit of that. You know, that's what you want to see in the derby, isn't it? And the two things that give me more confidence, and maybe why I'm a bit more confident than usual going into a game, is the fact that against Newcastle, we pressed a million miles better than we did against West Ham and Chelsea. And we had a proper counter-attacking threat, you know, against Newcastle. You know, for me, the last couple of weeks, we've kind of lost that counter-attacking threat a little bit. You know, when we've had opportunities to counter teams, you know, from corners, set pieces, loose passes, we've not really done it up until Newcastle. But the speed we broke on Newcastle, and the fact is, Newcastle are quite a defensive, compact team. Man United are the total opposite. They're all about what they do on the ball. I honestly think we're gonna have a couple of chances on set pieces. You know, if we could get the ball away on set pieces, you know, because they're gonna give the ball away a couple of times. You know, that midfield of McTominay and Fred against the press, especially Fred. You know, Fred's a loose cannon. You know, I want to see Click winding Fred up. To be honest.
Well, you see, I remember Troy Deeney coming out and mentioning about Fred and saying how whenever Fred got the ball, he was easy to play against because he would chop one way, chop the other, and then you'd just come in and take the ball off him. And that's Troy Deeney saying that, you know. So, I do like Troy Deeney. I think he's a good footballer, top goal scorer, and I just like him. He's one of them players that I wouldn't mind at Leeds once upon a time, just because he gets it. I think wherever he goes, he gets it. He's one of them type of individuals. But I remember him saying that about Fred, and he was pretty scathing. So know that Leeds United, with the way they press, if he is going to chop and get caught on the ball, then Leeds will capitalise from that. And if they persist to play out with the back, and you've mentioned yourself with the likes of Maguire, Lindelof, listen, I don't care what Man United fans will tell you, that's not a decent centre-back partnership. You just have to look down the history of Man United and see the likes of, you know, Brio, Vidic, you know, Stam, all these players, you know, that have been at that football club that are, you know, decent.
Nowhere near, isn't it? Nowhere near.
No,
it's probably the worst. It's probably even worse than like what they had before, that Bayern, Smalling or whatever. It's probably even worse than that, to be fair. And that's why it gives me real confidence, to be honest. I just, I can't see us not creating against them. I think, obviously, Rodrigo, Rafinha's performances on Wednesday was just different gravy. Harrison, that real confidence boost. The confidence he must be feeling at the minute. I think he really fancies it. I think he'll really fancy it tomorrow. Yeah. And I think the bench is going to be important as well. Obviously Pablo, people like that. I think it's going to be important we use that bench well, because obviously we know Man United can come back in the game. I've just got to manage the game well for me. Really got to manage that game well.
Yeah, I think, look, these Leeds United players have an opportunity to cement themselves in Leeds United folklore.
Yeah.
They do, right?
What they've done will be perceived in a very different way if they go to Man United and beat Man United away. It'll be completely different. Because it won't only they'll be the team that got us promoted. They'll be the team that got us the first win at Old Trafford. Stats are right, in the league since 1981. If they win tomorrow, in 1981 was the last time we beat Man United in the league away from home. We're beating them at home in the league, but not since.
Do we not? No, are you sure?
Yeah, honestly, 1981 in the league was the last time we beat them away from home.
Was Weatherall at Ellen Road or?
That was Ellen Road. Yeah.
And obviously, that man that we don't like to talk about on this channel as well, Mr. Judas.
Which one?
Mr. the Judas of all Judases.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about. I'm pretty sure you know I know who you're talking about, but there's quite a few, to be fair, mate. You have to narrow it down a bit. But anyway, look, we'll move on. We're having none of that.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, I think from their side, they're trying to play it down and say City, Liverpool's a bit bigger game and all this lot. And Liverpool and City don't give anything about them now. They never see them as rivals. They're trying to kid themselves, but Liverpool and City don't care. They care more about playing each other than they do Man United now. That's a bigger rivalry at the minute than City versus United, Liverpool versus them. No chance. They're talking nonsense, and they know if they just I don't know. It just winds me up a little bit, mate. Just winds me up, to be honest. But they can say
to say that in it from up on high. Obviously, the fact that we've just come into the division and all this sort of stuff. But talk to any season ticket going week on week Manchester United or Manc that goes to these games. That rivalry's still there, man. That rivalry's still
been so long.
Yeah, 100%, man. 100%. It was quite funny because I don't know if any has caught it. Obviously, there was a bit on Football Focus this morning, and
Mr. Wayman on Football
I was on it briefly. Yeah, big shout out Lucy who was on it, man. She was class. She's coming on
the digs. It was every dig where it said the second dig coming back. It was just dig after dig after dig.
She was absolutely fantastic. So I've spoken to her, and she's going to come on with us in a couple of weeks with Liam Horsley, I think, on the 28th. So make sure you check out that. But she was absolutely brilliant. But it was quite funny when one of the obviously Scum fans said, "Oh, shoes off if you ain't Man U." Get a life or something like that, what he was saying. But yeah, I really enjoy that when that happens, when we're in the ground, or stand up, sit down if you ain't Man U, and everyone sits down and stuff. So it's all good, man. Leeds United fans are a different breed, man.
That's the thing, they just don't feel that. I think the thing with Man United is, I'm going to go into a little bit of a thing why I kind of think they've got no soul to them anymore. They've got no soul to them. They're owned by the Glazers. Okay. They've been trying to get the Glazers out of that football club for 15 years. We've had Chelino, Bates, GFH. We got rid of all three of them. In the time they've been trying to get rid of GFH. A proper fan base stands up and unites to their club. They've never done that. All this green and yellow scarves and all this rubbish. They've never had the bottle to stand up and get rid of owners. That's what Leeds United have done. We don't have that. We don't pull up with this. You know, they've got official tractor partners. Official tractor partners now. I think they've got.
Yeah.
They've got 1,500 different partners. There's no soul to that football club for me at all. And that's the fact. They can go all about their history and all this lot, but they're seeing their biggest rival. Well, who they say their biggest rivals are. Liverpool are overtaking them and probably going to break their record for titles, whatever it is. I think it's 21 they've got. They're going to break that before they win a title. City are pretty much owned Manchester for the last 7 or 8 years, so they can go on about us and how we're not this proper team anymore, but we're on the up, and they're just like stuck in the middle at the minute. As simple as that. Whatever result they get tomorrow, they're still stuck in the middle. They've got a legend, a legend of their club in charge. He's that much of a legend, they can't sack him. And I think deep down, they all know he's not the right man for the job. He can win tomorrow. He's still not the right man for the job. I think secretly, you ask any Man United fan, pretty much any Man United fan I know, they say Pochettino. They can't get Pochettino because they can't sack him. They're in an awkward position. So they can go on about us. They can go on about us all they want. They've still got the Glaciers in charge. They're still going to have Solskjaer in charge. And they're going to go nowhere as a football club. They spent 80 million on Harry Maguire. They spent 90 million on Paul Pogba. They spent whatever other money they spent, Lindelof, all these players. There's nothing there. You can try and mock everyone else. They can try and mock Arsenal, but they are heading in that direction, mate. They are heading in that direction themselves. So that was pretty much a 2-minute rant, but they're just nothing as a club. Official tractor partners. Come on. You know what I mean? Official tractor partners. It's just absolute nonsense. Yeah. I mean, that's just absolute nonsense, mate. It is what it is. But I honestly see Poch going to Arsenal, to be honest, and they can't even get out of jail cards, because when he goes to Arsenal, and mate, it is hilarious. What I've never known in my lifetime them being such a mess and it be so close between the two clubs, so close. Even at times this season we've been above them in the table. I've genuinely never known it. I remember going to Tranmere away in 2007, our first game in League One. I think they'd made a Champions League final a couple of months before that. The gap had never been bigger in my dad's lifetime, any Leeds fan's lifetime. So to see it just shorten year on year, when Ferguson left, year on year, it shortened and shortened and shortened and shortened and shortened. And look, we might not get to their level, but the gap's never been shorter, and they've got all these other problems off the field, and they can't sort it out. They didn't have the bottle to have a protest against the Glaciers. We got rid of 3 terrible owners who were just ruining this football club, and we stopped it, because that's what a proper
the best thing I seen during the summer was the group of Man United fans that were.
I'm not crying, mate. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm not crying. I'm stating pure facts.
Spitting facts.
You can't get rid of the Glaciers. Leeds United fans. Do you think Leeds fans would have let the Glaciers do to their football club what you guys have let them do to your club? It would never happen. That's because we've got proper fans who just back this football club throughout. I think the
biggest we seen was in the summer when a group of Man United fans were walking the streets singing, "Who do we want? Sancho. When do we want him? Now. Who do we want? Sancho." And it was just pathetic. So yeah,
what would have been better is if Sancho turned them down and went to like Liverpool or City or something. That's the only way that could have been any better, to be fair. But mate, it's just they're going nowhere fast, aren't they? Let's be honest, they're going nowhere fast to the club. If they lose that chance to get Poch, Allegri, all these managers, they're going nowhere. Whatever the result is tomorrow, I'm not going to get bothered by them. I'm not bothered by them at all.
Man United are the favourites. Man United should win the game. This is what we say about the Chelsea one. Ultimately, Chelsea should win the game. They've spent millions. Man United have spent millions. Yeah, they might not have done it this summer, but they've spent millions upon millions. Oscar went through some of the names and the fees that they've spent.
What I'm going to say here is, though, they missed Fergie, but it was their great manager, and look, he was a great manager, to be fair, but their great manager left them in this mess. He left them with a squad of Giggs, Cleverly, all these people who, Carrick and that lot, Rooney, over 30, aging. He knew exactly when to get out. He knew exactly what he was doing in that job. A great manager for me, leaves something behind as well. And look, he is a great manager. I'm not going to deny that, but I don't know. I think deep down they know that as well. He knew exactly when to get out there, Ferguson. He knew exactly when to get out. He knew exactly what he was doing with Moyes getting the job. David, take the job, and that lot. What a great recommendation that was as well. Great recommendation that. But legend, don't forget. And he left them in a bit of a mess, to be fair.
You're questioning Fergie's legend status.
But he did. But the fact of the matter is, he was a legend.
I get it.
He knew when to get out. He knew.
Yeah. He wasn't like Wenger, was he? Wenger stayed too long. He should have.
That was the opposite. He didn't know when to get out.
Fergie was like, I've rebranded this team so many times, looking around, thinking, wow, I spent that money on Phil Jones. I've got Chris. Yeah, I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah, forget about that signing, the Phil Jones.
Yeah.
There we go, mate. Yeah. I've been on a bit of a rant there, but just saying, just spitting facts. Just spitting a bit of facts. But let's go on to obviously Leeds. So say if Man United do go 2 up top, can you see us going to a back three?
No, we didn't against Newcastle. No, I just think it'll be the exact same lineup. Calvin did drop deeper at times, but then also, was much higher up the pitch when we controlling the game. No, I think, as I said, it'll be exactly the same lineup. We've just got to be conscious of the counter. Ayling and Cooper have got to have a great game. Alioski needs to be aware of runners, but no, it'll be the same lineup, and I'm okay with that as well because we've just come off a 5-2, drubbing of Newcastle, and it could have been more. So I'm good. I'm excited for the game, Oscar. I cannot wait. Like, I was excited all morning, so much so that I put out a crazy tweet. So I was just so full of beans. I'll struggle to sleep tonight. That's what it's like, though. Genuinely, I'm 32-year-old.
No, I was just looking at the tweet.
I'm a 32-year-old.
About that tweet.
I'm a 32-year-old gimp, right? As the Grader 600 tells us, and I'll be nervous. I'll be nervous ahead of the game. I'll struggle to sleep. I get up in the morning, I'll be bouncing. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. Just remember, Grader. Just remember, when you do get beat, make sure you come back and join us, pal. All right? Okay.
I really want to flash up the comment after that Grader one, but we can't. To be fair, we can't, can we? Can't flash that one.
I don't know. I like that. I like that. I love that from Matt Davis. Matt Davis, yeah.
Matt Davis's comment. I mean, it's quite right. To be fair, the great role models of that football club. The great role models. Don't forget that, mate. The great role models. But yeah, no. You look. They still gave us Strachan. I was going to add that. They gave us Strachan. Yep. They can go on about Cantona, Ferdinand. They gave us Strachan for free, didn't they? Was it free?
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to check the fee. But anyway, they gave us Strachan. Strachan rose us from Division 2, what is now the Championship, to obviously in 1990, got us promoted, then into what was the European Cup, Champions League, the season after, and then 1992, we won the league. So Man United basically gave us a promotion from Division 2, and then a league title. So if you can go on about all these other people, you've already won trophies before they arrived. You gave us our greatest success in the 90s. Thank you. Thank you for Gordon Strachan. That's all I'm going to say. Thank you for Johnny Giles as well, actually, while I'm at that. Thank you for Johnny Giles in the 60s. Thanks very much for that, guys.
They did take that Frenchman, though, didn't they?
Yeah, but they've won things before that. We got Johnny Giles off them. Mate.
I love Oscar. He's not having it tonight. Oscar's turned into me.
Mate, Eric Cantona, yeah, he was a great player, but what did he play for him? He played like 2 years for him. He just banned for a year when he decided to kick a fan in the face. He played like 2 years for him.
I did not know this. We at All Leeds TV, we won't have Man United fans on our channel. It's just not what we do. Like we're not about that life. We don't get on. That's why we didn't have a Chelsea fan on as well. So if the official LUFC YouTube channel has done that, then big shout out them. But we're all Leeds here. All Leeds TV. All right. Moving on swiftly.
Why you said that? It was the eye contact more than that anything. It was the eye It was a sexy eye contact in the he said.
I'm just going to quickly have a look at that, see if they've got him on, actually. Big shout out. Well done.
But yeah, I mean, look, I mean that's another good point. To be fair, they can't protest because none of the fans live in Manchester, which is quite true. You know, the long drive down from London. To be fair, to go and protest, but yeah, to be fair, I mean. Yeah, I mean, look, I'm not having that. We've had Giles and Strachan from them. You know, forget the rest. And Scott Wotton. Let's not forget we had Scott Wotton from them. You know, you had Scott Wotton. I know you're definitely not listening now, mate, because I just said Scott Wotton. We got off there.
Yeah, I'm too busy looking into. To be honest, I'm watching the LUTV. I'm looking at the LUTV.
You also gave us Cameron Borthwick Jackson. Let's not forget that one.
I mean, I'm looking at the LUTV channel. It just looks like they just try to copy what we're doing. It is what it is. If you can't beat them, join them, as they say. Number one content creators 2020.
You're calling out our own.
No, I'm just saying, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what happens, isn't it? You know. Yeah, there you go. Sorry,
very edgy moods tonight, aren't we? To be fair, we're both right. We're both right.
If you can't beat them, join them, and that's all that's happening there. It is what it is. It is what it is. We'll keep doing. We'll stay in our lane. We'll do what we do. Big shout out for those that support us, because we're just proper lads that support Leeds United, proper boys and girls, or lads and lasses. You know, yeah. So big shout out, big shout out to LUTV doing bits. I've been on there myself. Yeah. If you can't beat them, join them.
Football Focus this week.
Yeah, I was on Football Focus this week. I've been on Match of the Day X, you know. Making moves, guys, making moves. But yeah, I'm rambling now, you know. I'm just really
You just went on like a thing like you were talking as you for your CV then. It was like the
yeah.
Why shouldn't they fire you this week?
It's my LinkedIn profile. Yeah. Oscar's gone.
Just says, that last 2 minutes then says, ALTV, copying us. I've been on there. Oh man, this has been a interesting preview anyway, guys. We're coming up to an hour, mate. Let's have a prediction before we clock off. Let's have a prediction anyway, mate. What are you still thinking? I was trying. What did you go yesterday? Did you go 3-2 yesterday?
No, I went 3-1.
3-1. You still standing by that?
Yeah, I'm getting just because I've said it. But I think both teams will score. I think we'll score first. It's going to be high scoring. But something tells me I've felt it for a bit. I'm going to go 3-1 Leeds United.
So I've got a bite here. What exactly is Solskjaer won as a manager?
Yeah. I think he's famous for getting Cardiff relegated.
Yeah.
Cardiff relegated and winning some Mickey Mouse league in Norway. Bielsa's managed the Argentinian national team, the Chile national team. He's won, honors in his own, Argentina. He beat Manchester United actually with that Bilbao team. He's done bits. If you're sitting across from me and you're Klopp and you're saying that, if you're sitting across from me and you're Pep and you're saying that, you have a valid argument. Okay, I would still contest it, but you have a valid argument. But when your manager is a glorified PE teacher who is most famous for getting Cardiff relegated, then you have no argument to even bring that to my door. So turn around and get on your way, because that is just not even shouldn't even be debated.
No, it's just a nonsense argument, isn't it? I mean, I think what else we could take from that is that when Bielsa beat Ferguson, that was basically forced Ferguson into retirement. You know, I think we could say that as well. You know, so Bielsa forced Ferguson into retirement. I don't care if it's not facts. Facts. What's the point in facts at the end of the day? You know, I think we all know Bielsa sent Ferguson into retirement when he won there with Bilbao anyway. But I'm still going to go 4-3, mate. I'm still going to go 4-3 to Leeds, by the way. To Leeds, I'll throw that in there. I mean, yeah, I just think it's going to be similar to the Liverpool game, but the Liverpool game, as I've already said, there's less quality in this Man United team than there is in that Liverpool team. And for me, it'll switch around in terms of the score line. Rashford might get a couple, Fernandes might get a couple, but we can hurt them as well in the same areas of the pitch. And yeah, I'm going to go 4-3. I'm going to go for what game of the season potentially. And yeah, it is an opportunity for these players not only to undoubtedly become legends. I know a lot of older fans, to be fair, a lot of older fans I speak to, I talk to people, my dad especially, and say, would you class Luke Ayling as a Leeds legend? For me, I would. I would undoubtedly class Luke Ayling as a Leeds legend, but there's still fans who would argue he's been a very good servant for the football club rather than a legend. But if he's part of that team that wins tomorrow, he's a legend. Calvin Phillips becomes a legend, undoubtedly. I think a lot of the older fans hold these players to that standard of the 90s team, the 70s team, even the O'Leary team. But for me, they get the chance tomorrow to put themselves on that similar level to that kind of team. If they win that game tomorrow, they do join very prestigious company and being able to win at Manchester United away.
For me, though, as well, like obviously any part of this squad or any player that was part of the team that took Leeds back to the Premier League after that 16-year-long wait was always going to become a legend, really. They'll always be remembered. There'll be key moments during that season. No one will ever forget, Luke Ayling's goal, for example, against Huddersfield with the hair out. No one will forget the Pablo moment. Just all these key moments over the last 2 seasons will go down in folklore for that because they took us back. But it's all about writing new memories now, right? It's like, for me, the Beckford one will always be remembered, but now we're back in the Premier League. It has to take us backward step now because we're back with the big boys now. We're playing the Man Uniteds on a yearly basis, So,
for some reason, I thought John. I read that as John Stones at first. I'm thinking, what the hell's John Stones doing in a Leeds? I thought it was John Shaw's. I apologise, John. John Shaw's. Fair play, mate. Fair play. No, I've got to agree. I don't think they feel this game the same way, to be fair. I just don't think they feel this game the same way. To be fair, a lot of predictions come in. Obviously, a lot of the Man United fans feel relatively confident. But yeah, the saying about dodgy penalty decisions. Look, VAR is VAR. VAR is VAR. You can't do anything about it. If VAR decides to want Man United to win the game, they can try. Because our man Ilan Meslier is there on the penalties. So that's the thing as well. We talk about, just to finish off, Rashford and Fernandes. Meslier is practically, he saves the goal every game. In a minute, he does say it's Meslier tax, isn't it? At the end of the day,
he's come up on one-on-one situations. I remember the Saka one. He's done really well. Oscar. So yeah, I think he'll have a big part to play in the tie tomorrow as well.
Well, I guess, mate, we'll leave it there. I think we'll leave it there. We're just coming on to an hour. We are starting to talk absolute rubbish.
We have done for a while.
Ferguson's legacy at Man United. You've gone into like the Norwegian PE teacher that's taken over the game tomorrow, as well as talking through your LinkedIn CV at the same time. But mate, it's been an absolute class one. We can't wait for this tomorrow.
We're probably
joined us.
We're probably going to go live, I would say, from maybe even 3. Like, I'm thinking a bit of a leave it with me because I've just sprung that on Oscar, to be fair. I seen his face.
4:30. Yeah, we'll be on a bit earlier. We'll go on a bit earlier.
Yeah, it's 4:30 kickoff. Maybe an hour and a half's too long. Maybe what we'll do is not have a break in between the lineups because it's a big game.
Go for it.
We'll just marathon it, man. Let's do it. I'll try and convince Oscar to go from about 3. So we've got an hour and a half. We've got half an hour for lineups. Then we can do half an hour on the lineups when it's announced. Then half an hour more chat. We've got Jack, Tash, and Kieran as well. So there'll be a lot more with us tomorrow. So plenty to chat about. Plenty to get the teeth into against our most bitter rivals in Scumchester. So yeah, keep it locked to all Leeds TV as per. Want to see some great numbers tomorrow. Of course, we're up against the likes of the United stand, all that sort of stuff.
Don't say we're up against. Don't give people the competition names.
No, but you get what I'm saying.
No one. We go up against no one.
Because I think even Man United fans. Oh no, Kieran's not with us now. I think it's because he knew that I'd had my haircut and that, and I'd just looked dashing, so he didn't want to compete with me. That's all. Oh, he's in tier 4, right? I get it. He can't move out and that. Yeah, it is what it is. Don't get me started on that stuff either. I've seen Oscar ranting about it earlier as well. But this isn't a political channel, so we will leave that there.
The only things I want to see in tier 4 tomorrow is Rashford's free kicks. That's the only thing I want to see in tier 4.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey, having that one. Having that one.
Jack has cheered up. I've had a chat with him. He's all right. He's not wanting to climb through the laptop and start giving me digs to the face, because it got to a point where I think he was going to, if he could have. But God forbid we get battered, because I was like, no, it's like everything's all right, Jack. But
we'll come off air. We'll come off air.
Yeah,
if that's the case.
Just go, yeah, like they used to do in Big Brother. The stream's being cut.
No, they have the bird noise or that lot. Temporarily, just go to something random.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, happy place.
Yeah, Jack said, are you sure you want me on there? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, of course. Because we're just normal folk. That's what I'm saying. That's what you get at all these TV.
It's just raw passion, mate. We all get it.
You know, there's no. I guess we're a council estate kind of channel, if you get my vibe. Do you know what I mean? We're just normal folk, though. Normal folk that go to games.
Council estate.
Yeah. And my mate's back again. He's come on a different platform.
You're going to have to vote. No one gets a red tomorrow. If anyone gets a red tomorrow, mate.
I said if Calvin does get red tomorrow, because I remember one year when we had little Claudio on the channel and he was doing our socials and we'd beat loads of teams, and then he put you're next against Sheffield United.
Oh, no.
And Sheffield United beat us 1-0 at Ellen Road, and everyone was in the All Leeds TV mentions it's your fault. And it was right, okay, you might not like the tweet, but as a person, you've bookmarked it against someone who supports the same team as you. You've bookmarked it, waited till the 90th minute just so you could then give them individuals some shit. There's something wrong on your end. So if it is what it is, if someone was to get sent off, there'll be people who will bookmark that tweet to go, it's all your fault. I just want to set a disclaimer out there. I have no control.
It's too late.
I have no control over Calvin Phillips or if a player.
It's too late to apologise.
Yeah, normal people. Love Jack's passion. Tash is saying Oscar is actually posh. Don't believe it. Honestly, he's not. He's a Scouser.
I'm sat here in trackies in a top not
don't let Tash try to get Tash has a family group chat.
Yeah, to be fair, yeah.
Family group chat. Nah.
And they don't even swear at each other. What's the point in the family group chat in that case? Or is that me going to my own family kind of thing? There is that quite dark that anyway. But anyway, let's finish.
Yeah, we're just rambling now.
I think back at this point we need to finish before we get ourselves in.
I love that. This is what it's about. Slim Reaper, who's a Villa fan, I think. Is that a Villa top?
He is a Villa fan, to be fair. Yeah, no, he's got some love the Villa, to be fair.
Big up the villains over there. Your man Jack Grealish. Did you see that stunt he pulled at the when he was done for drink driving, right? And I was
the video, mate. The video when he's reversing.
No, he's drink driving. He's an idiot. He shouldn't be doing that shit. He could have killed someone.
It's shocking.
But I think the way that he set it up when he got his car to park up and then just come in the other way, I was like, yeah, that's pretty decent. I'm not on about the video itself. I'm on about when what happened was he pulled up at court, yeah, and his car was there. So listen, it was all over social media and people were praising it. But I was like, well, it was good, but what I'm saying is you shouldn't be praising it really because he was there for a bad thing. But everyone started taking pictures of this blacked out Land Rover, thinking he was in the Land Rover. But what he'd done, he's got someone to just drive it up, and then he came from opposite direction and went straight.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool.
But I don't love his crimes, though. I don't love his crimes. That's one thing.
You could have killed someone. That's the facts.
Yeah.
It's
shocking.
And drive.
Just on that, just like one thing on that. When players do something like that off the pitch, should they get bans? No, I don't want to have a go at Slim. I'm not having a go at Villa themselves because Walker break lockdown, etc. We saw loads of players break lockdown. Should there be game bans now to stop people just being idiots off the pitch, basically?
Well, yeah, because listen, they set examples, right? They set examples. So yeah, it's not a good thing, is it?
And on that note, I think we best move on.
He's supposed to be my friend, man. He's a Man United fan. Richard Shep, as we call him. Can I just ask? Put the comment back up.
You try to talk to someone who's not on the stream now.
No, I just want to ask a question because I'm going to put him in the bin here. Right? How many times have you been to Old Trafford? And we'll end it there. We'll end the stream there because I know the answer to that. He knows the answer to that, and we'll leave it there. And that's the issue with Man United fans, you see. Some of them don't even know where Salford is. Some of them don't even know where Manchester is on the map, let alone talk about, Manchester diehard. It's because they were doing well in the 90s. They grew up. They had no affiliation or affinity to the football team and thought, right, what will they do? I'll support the team that's doing well. I will never forget one of my childhood friends said to me, right, will you still support Leeds now? They've been relegated. And I went, are you for real? And he was like, well, I won't support Man United. And that's where we're at. That's what we're up against.
I'll tell you what's shocking about that, mate. I'll tell you what's shocking about that. You were friends. You were childhood friends with a Man United fan. That's where the shocking side of that comes now, mate.
You can't help it. I can't help that, mate. You know what I mean? It was bred into me from a young age.
Don't be friends with him.
Are you coming to stay at mine, John? No, I'm not. My mum said I'm not allowed. But yeah.
We'll make a mess of the house. Anything.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that.
Right, let's leave it there anyway. Before we get ourselves into trouble.
Emoji look. Oh, I've got him on the hook. When really he's hurting. He's hurting inside. He's hurting inside. There you go. I'll speak to you tomorrow, my man. We'll leave it there. Let's do the awkward bit where we end the stream. Otherwise, we'll be here.
Let's end it. Quick, let's just end this.
What do we?